California, stay away from here. Stay away from here now. Don't come in here. Whatever you hear, stay away. John Doe has the upper hand.
What's in the box?
Greetings, everyone. Steve, Paracord's of Kindness. How you doing today? Hopefully your weaving's been happy. Welcome to another edition of What's in the Box. But as always, before we get to what's in the box, let me talk at you. Tell you what's been going on. Okay, let's see. I'll give you an update. If you watched the episode last week that I did, I mentioned that my camera was not doing right. I mentioned I'm always apologizing for not having the best camera, and I said I think it finally heard me and it decided it didn't want to do right. And I said it may be a driver issue. That's one reason I haven't put out any videos, because the camera wasn't doing right. So I went in the past week. I went in, and I'm not a computer kind of guy. I know a little bit, but I'm not. I wouldn't call myself computer illiterate. But I wouldn't call myself a computer programmer either. Kind of in between. But I went in and I resolved the issue. Like I said, it was a driver issue and all that. And I got it working correctly again. What the problem was is it wasn't zooming. Instead of like zooming in small increments, it would go from way zoomed way out to way close in. And the increments were too jumpy, so to speak. And I was like, I can't film videos that way. I've got to fix this. So I got that issue fixed. Okay, now, let's see, what's next? I always show you what I've been working on. I've showed these Black Widows. Black Widow. What is this? Olive drab, maroon, and gold. These are kind of my signature colors. I love these colors right here. For some reason, they have a military feel, like a military uniform or whatever. I did this one also, black, and then this is neon green and black shockwave and acid purple stitching. Let's see. Okay, I showed this one. Let me see. How do I preface this? I mentioned last week I got a new color of cord in. It was called Birthday Cake. Go back, watch that episode. And, you'll hear the little funny story about my wife and her birthday. Her birthday was about 2 weeks ago. Blah, 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 blah. And I got the new color in called Birthday Cake. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to make. Right? So, I ended up making her something out of this. And, she doesn't like the wide ones. She don't like thick ones. So I had to find something that would allow me to use that birthday cake as an accent color where it was very prominent on the bracelet. But it wasn't going to be some wide, thick, beast of a bracelet. So what I ended up doing is making one of these. What is this? This is a Green Goblin modified. It's just rose pink, and then this color in the middle is birthday cake. And I put it on an old pink buckle for her. And she really liked that. And she wears these things to work. She's my walking advertisement. And a bunch of her co-workers complimented her on her bracelet, which always makes me feel good. But yeah, I did that one. Have I made any more of these? I can't remember if I made any more of these or not. Yeah, I made another one right here. This is Black and Sunspot is the name of this color. It's kind of a burgundy with some yellow, orange, and neon green in there. Very nice accent color. It looks great with that black. Awesome. But there's those. Okay, now, with that said, I also got a new color, and I showed you, here, let me do this. I showed you this one. This is what is this? A Royal Lion. And that's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it's got this accent color. It's called Lightning. And I mentioned I was going to have to get a refill. Well, there should be one in the box. That's one thing in the box, right? But that accent color is black, and then it's got a little bit of, it says blue, but it looks like colonial blue, because that's what it's stitched in. and then some white and some silver in there. But I mentioned this one. I haven't done a tutorial for this yet. I most likely will. Like I said, my camera has been acting up. So, you know, now that I got it working again, that's going to be on my list of how to do this one. The tutorial for this. Okay. But I showed some colors that I got in smoke gray. And then I got another one. It's an accent color that's the cord itself is a smoke gray, but then it has not neon green. It's labeled as ultra neon green. Little, kind of the same pattern as this accent, but it's got like neon green on it, on that smoke cord. And, you know, I mentioned, I have to find something to do with it, blah, blah, blah. Well, what I ended up doing is making one of these. So you can see the smoke gray, and then this is regular neon. I have ordered some of the ultra neon. That should be an ultra neon in the micro cord, and it should be in this box I got behind me. But if you look, you can see that neon green there, ultra neon green. It's not quite the same as this. But I wanted to go ahead and make this. You know, I was going to wait to get the matching stitching, but I was like, nah, just go ahead and make it. It's going to look good no matter what. But yeah, there's that one. Actually, there's a stitched Royal Lion. Oh, let me say this too. I've been meaning to do this. This, because I've been making a lot of these. The Black Widows I have on my arm, they're in Cetus Live Paracord Volume 2, page 52. I'm not sure if you can find a YouTube video for those or not. I'm not sure. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. The Royal Lion is also, you can find a tutorial for that on YouTube, and I most likely would do one. That's Volume 2, page 121 for the Royal. Now, he doesn't show you how to stitch it. Okay, this, the Green Goblin Modified. There's a video for the Green Goblin, but not this one. And this one is also not in any of his books that I could find. I've got the first 3 volumes. This, you can find this for those who are on Instagram and follow Cetus Weaving. Right? All that channel is, or all that profile is a bunch of individual pictorials. And you can go through and, you know, look at those pictorials and do some of those things. But, that's where I got this one. Okay, so we get those out of the way. Now, here's what I've been working on this one. I did this one. I did 2 of these, actually. Kind of a, where's the other one? Kind of a Super Bowl thing, you know. I did this, I'll be honest with you. I did this one first just to do it. There was no intention in my mind of making this kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles colors. Now, I know I've had some people say, well, that's not the Eagles colors. Well, I looked it up on the internet, and, you know, depending on where you source the information, they give you different greens. And one of them was this kind of green. Look like this. But it doesn't matter. I went to make this bracelet, and I just chose the colors. What is this? It's platinum. Is that what this is? Yes, platinum, and then this is ivy green. And my intent was to make it and then come back and stitch it right beside. If you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but it's black. I was going to stitch it in another color, but when I got finished with the bracelet, and I was sitting there thinking, what color can I stitch this? And it clicked in my head. I'm like, well, that looks like Philadelphia Eagles colors. I say, well, I'm sure they've got a third color. And that's when I started looking for the colors. And I'm like, black. Okay, I said, I'll stitch this one in black. I said, well, I guess what? If I make one for Philadelphia Eagles, I got to make one for the Kansas City Chiefs, which I did. I mean, same thing. This one is it's white, and I want to say this is scarlet red. I think that's what it is. And it's stitched, but it's kind of hard to see, especially here. Right here it's gold, because that gold and that white, there's not much of a contrast to it. It kind of blends in. But that was after I made this one and I realized it was the Eagles colors. I was like, let's make another one for the Kansas City Chiefs, that kind of thing. or whatever, and that's what I did. But this one is called, what's the name of this one? Rain of Fire Modified. This also can be, this is in the Cetus Volume 2, page 114. You can also find this one on the Cetus Instagram Cetus Weaving. I'm not sure if there's a YouTube video for this or not. I think there is, because obviously if you have a Rain of Fire Modified, that means you obviously have a Rain of Fire. You see what I'm saying? I know there's a video for either the regular one or the modified one. I can't remember specifically which one. But, yeah, there's those. Okay, that's that. Let's see, what else do I have over here? Here's one I did recently. This one is called, what is this one called? Shark Tooth. Not to be confused with a shark jawbone. Not the same thing. And it kind of has the feel of like a lynx, or the lynx modified. I got a tutorial for the lynx modified, which is kind of a 3-color. But you see how it's got these like little arcs or semicircle almost, right? That's what it made me think of. But I did this one in, what is this? Indigo Night. Indigo Night, Burgundy, and I stitched it in gold. Obviously, the stitching is my addition. All these bracelets I do, first thing I did, I had somebody post a comment on social media the other day. He said, Steve, be like, stitch everything. I'm like, yep. And most of Cetus's weaves are pretty easy to stitch. Once you figure out how to do it on one bracelet, you can just do it on multiple, especially this side stitch right here. Sometimes it looks good on them, sometimes it doesn't look so good. And then this center stitch, it's slightly different depending on the nature of the weave, but you can do it with a lot of his weaves. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't look good. But that's that one. And this, in my head, is kind of a Superman thing. That's what these colors are in my head. You know, everybody sees colors and they think of this or that, or some football team or some soccer team or whatever. Me, I always think that's Superman colors. Right? Okay, but there's that one. This one, what did I say? This one's called Shark Tooth, not Jawbone. And this is Cetus Volume 1, page 103. And I'm not sure if there's a tutorial for this out there. And I would suggest, it's also on the Cetus Weaving page. I'll say this. If you go to the Cetus Weaving on Instagram, sadly, the pictorial, the way he shows you in that pictorial, it doesn't work right. That bracelet, it doesn't want to look right, doesn't want to sit right. It's not very well done. But if you find the tutorial on YouTube, he's corrected it. There's one spot where it's over when it should be an under. Or no, I take that back. It's an under in the pictorial and in the book, because it's the same picture, when it should be an over. And in the video, the guy makes the correction. Now, he doesn't mention it, but he just does it. So if you follow the video, you'll get it. I mean, you can do it either way, and I did. I did it both ways, and I'm like, yeah, this is not wanting to sit right and do right, and yeah, whatever. So I did it the way in the tutorial, the video tutorial. And I was like, yeah, there you go. That's what it is. But that one. Okay, now, let's see. I did this other one. What is this? Nameless King. This is a nice one. I like this. What is this? Rust and International Orange. And the back of this one actually looks good. You could do this in like a reverse. You know, I guess you could take your buckles, and when you put them on your jig, just flip your buckles around, and you'd be weaving it. You know, you'd be weaving this side, but you'd have to make sure the back looked good. But when you got done, your buckles would be aligned, orientated, so you could wear it this way. Because it looks good that way. It displays more of that orange. On the front, it's kind of an accent. You don't see much of it. But on the back, you see a whole lot of it. But that one's good. But that is, what is this? Nameless King. See this volume 3, page 50. And I don't think there's a tutorial at all on YouTube for this one, period. And it's not on his seedless weaving, so, you know, just only in his books. Okay, now, here's one I've done in the past. This one right here. This is it's labeled in his book. I think it's on his YouTube or his Instagram, seedless weaving Instagram profile also. But it's labeled as a side step variation number 2, right? And I've done this. And obviously I come back and did the stitching, right? And he's got a couple that have this same idea. And the reason I like this one is because it gives you basically, the bracelet is basically the base in black. And then you have all this accent color. And you get to display the accent color. Some bracelets, the accent color, you don't see very much of. So I tend not to use one of these accent colors that has this pattern on it like this. Now this pattern, yeah, you can use it because the pattern is real small. And it just, but you doing this type multicolored cord as an accent on a bracelet like this, you don't get to see the pattern this much. It kind of gets lost and covered up by the weave. You see, does that make sense? But on something like this, you can see it. And that's one reason I like this. I made quite a few of these. I made this one. I made, I don't know if I got any laying over here. I know I got some. Yeah, here's one I did. Same thing. It's just the accent color is black and green, and I come back and I stitched it in acid purple. But I really like this one. And there was one I come across. This, like I said, this is I know these are on the seedless weaving Instagram. You have to find them. I've got a YouTube video for these. How to do a stitched side step, a modified side step, I think is what I've got it called. How to make a stitched modified side step. You check that out. Okay, now here's one. I showed you that modified side. I showed you that because here's one I've been wanting to make for a while. And I've come out here a few times to my shop and I sat here and I watched. I've never made this before. And I watched the tutorial one day and I sat there and watched it because for those who don't know, here's your tip. I'm famous for giving tips and tricks and commentary. Here's your tip. When you go to make a bracelet, I know a lot of us, I'm the same way, We have like those few channels that we always, our go-to tutorial channels. And we'll go and see if that channel has a tutorial for the bracelet we want to make. And if it does, we'll watch that, then we'll make the bracelet. Here's your tip. Take some patience. Watch that one, but also find that same bracelet tutorial for that same bracelet from other channels. And watch all of them. Now, if you have to put it on, speed the YouTube video up a little bit, but watch them. Because you can get something from every one of them. Little tips, tricks, all this kind of stuff. And the more you familiarize yourself with the weave, the easier it's going to be for you to make it. Especially if the more exposure to something, the more comfortable you become with it. That's the best way I know how to do it. Practice, practice, practice. I mean, that's all part of it, right? But there's one I come across, and it's called a wide side step. And I've been wanting to make this for a long time, and there's only one YouTube video for it. Well, I've watched it in the past, and there is no talking. It just has that subtle background music, and he just starts doing it. He shows you how to set up the core strands, because it's a little different than, your average two chord, 4-chord. It's a little bit different. Shows you how to do that, and then he just starts weaving. And I sat there and watched it, and I got lost. I did. I couldn't follow the pattern, because me, I'm the guy who wants to watch from where the pattern starts, all the overs and unders, and then they'll repeat the pattern. They'll repeat the weave. And normally in these YouTube videos, they'll show you the repetition. They'll do 2, 3, 4 repetitions of the weave. And by then they say, okay, now I'm going to weave it out to the end. Right? So you watch from the beginning to where he restarts the repetition. He restarts the weave. And that's all you got to learn. But they do it 3 or 4 times so you can exposure to it. Right? So you see where it starts, where it ends, and then where it starts back over. Right? And I'll sit there and watch it, and I'll get it in my head, and I'm like, okay, I've got this. I can do this. Now, I know, but then when I go to make it, I'll go back, and I'll have the video on, I'll watch it, and I'll pause, and then I'll do it. Play, pause, and then I'll do it. And that's just the way we learn, most of us anyway. But this one, I sat there and watched this one, I was getting all kind of confused. And the thing is, now that I've made it, it wasn't that hard. It really wasn't. I was complicating it. But it's got 4 working strands as opposed to 2. Most of us do bracelets that have 2 working strands. This one had 4. And I'm sitting there watching it going, okay, where does he start the weave back over to repeat the process? Because it's the same thing within the one weave, the one repetition. It's the same thing about 4 different times. And then he does it again. And I was like, it would have been nice if he would have said, okay, there's the first bam. Now let's do it again. But it didn't say anything. And I was like, But anyway, I went back and I watched this thing again. Like I said, this is the first time I made this one. Never made this before. But I sat down and I finally got it. And I just posted this morning on the social medias. It's got a wide side step. And it turned out pretty good for the fact that I was kind of lost in doing it. And it's the same, kind of the same. I mean, obviously slightly different because it's kind of like 2 of them next to each other. But it's the same basic little zigzag pattern on here or whatever. But I got this one sized. I'll be honest with you, I ain't perfect. I got this one sized wrong. This was sized a little bit bigger than it should be. I mean, I can still wear it, but it's a little loose and floppy on my arm, more so than I would like it to be. So I'm redoing it again, and I've sized it down just a little bit. And I'm going to finish that one here in, I don't know, sometime this afternoon I'll get it finished. I'm a little over halfway done with it. And I'm doing it in different colors. I'm doing it in black and, what's it called? Decay? I ain't going to show you the bracelet until I get finished. But it's decay. It's just black with like neon green and looks like there's a little bit of yellow. Looks like there's 2 different greens in there actually, and a little bit of yellow. But that's what I'm doing it in. Well, once I get it finished sometime this afternoon, I'll post it on the social medias for all you can follow me. Okay, now, I know I've been talking for a while, but I've had a lot going on. Just like I said, it's just my camera hadn't worked. Because for those of you who don't know, filming these videos, it's not the easiest thing. It takes a lot of time to sit here. It's not just the filming it. Because, obviously you have to sit down and do the weave, and you have to film it. Right? How long does it take? How long it takes you to do the weave, obviously. But then you got to come back and take those video clips. Like if you've done it in 2 or 3 sections, 2 or 3, segments or whatever, you got to edit all that stuff together. And you got to run that through programs on your computer and stuff. And all that stuff takes time. And whatever. So since I haven't been making any tutorials, I've had time and I've made all kind of bracelets. You see what I'm saying? I got bracelets everywhere. So anyway, with all that said, let's see. Okay, now let's get to the box. That's what we're all here to see, the box. I got some new stuff. Let's see. Let me get this thing open. Hang on just a second. Sir. Yeah, I bet you I can open it right there. Will it work right there? Yeah, for the most part it will. just go. And this is a smaller box than I'm used to getting from. Obviously, it's from Paracord EU. That's where I've been ordering a lot of my stuff from. They're still giving out the Valentine's flyer, and there is no coupon code on it. No coupon code on it. Okay, here's my invoice. Okay, let's see. Like I said, I got Lightning. I told you last week when I made the video, I said, yeah, it should be a re-up on Lightning. And I said, no, I'm going to have to order it. It was in this week. But this is the one, that accent color that's in this, that's it right there. It's black with, it's got a couple of different blues and some white and maybe some silver in there. But it's a really good color. And that colonial blue, oh yes, those two go great together. But that's what that is. That's just basically, like I said, a refill. I've got this one, and this is the one I've got right now is polyester. This one is nylon, which is nice. Like I've said before, nylon or polyester, it doesn't really matter to me when it comes to 550. But when it comes to microcord, I prefer nylon. And I know there's some colors you can't get in nylon. Okay, so what else did I get? I got some more buckles. These are 20mm silicone buckles. They're silicone coated. I've mentioned this in one of the past videos. They're black, but they're coated in silicone. See, like here's one right here. It's maroon. I've got some navy blue ones, and they got some other colors. I don't use them, but the reason I like these is because they're kind of non-reflective. So here's a black one. It's almost. You see how you don't get a glare coming off of it? That's one reason I like them. But they're silicone. The buckle itself is stainless steel, and it's coated in silicone, right? I ordered a couple of these. I don't use them very much because I only use them when I get a wider type bracelet. But I needed some more. I was getting low, so I ordered some more of those. And the other one is the regular, same buckle, same style. Looks just like it's painted black. And with those, you get a little bit. I'll pull this one out. I think this is the. That one's got. Ooh, it needs to be wiped off. But if you look at it, you see how it's got more of a glare on it. You see what I'm saying? It's got a glare to it, a reflective glare. This was almost. You can call it non-reflective if you want. You see what I'm saying? And I like that. I like that. That's what that is. 20mm, basically three-quarter equivalent. Paracord EU. That's where I can get all these. Okay, now I ordered some more. Great, they put them in a bag this time. I just ordered some more. There's Type 3. What do they call it? They label them as Type 3 Pro Paracord needles, blunted. And I've mentioned these in the past. They have a very blunted tip, and the diameter of the shaft is a lot smaller than all the ones that I have bought from the various, whether it be Amazon or the various paracord supply companies and all that. The ones I've gotten here in America that are stainless steel for the most part, big old fat ones. These are smaller. And that tip, when I say it's blunted, it is blunted. It's the ones you get here in America. They say they're blunted, and I used those for a long time. And I finally ordered just a couple of these just to see, and I'm like, oh yes. So I spent the money on these. These are about $4 or $5 a piece, $4, $5, $6 a piece. But they're made out of brass. They're well worth the money. They are well worth the money. And I just bought a couple of extra. I've got about 6 or 7 over here. But I went ahead and ordered some more. Just in case, because I drop these things and I lose them. And, you know, every now and then I give some of them away. Might be something in the future. I might actually do a giveaway type thing with something like this. But I ordered some of these, right? Let's see, what else? Okay, the rest of it is cord. Here's a new color. I'm all about some greens. Now, that was okay. Green colors. Green colors. This one is called Jaeger. Jager. Jaeger. Which means hunter in German, for those who don't know. But it's kind of a green, black. I don't know. I'll use it for something. I just thought it was an interesting color. I like the greens. Right? Okay, now, let's see. This is the Ultra. Yeah, see, on camera, it looks almost a pastel color. But right here to my naked eye, it's not quite. Let's see. Where's it at? It's a little darker than it's showing up on camera. But this ultra neon green. Here's the neon green, polyester neon green, bought at I don't remember where I bought it, but I can tell you it come from Atwood. I can tell by looking at it because it's polyester and the black spool. That's Atwood. But polyester neon green, and this is ultra neon green in neon or nylon. But they also going to Paracord EU also has regular neon green in polyester. I just was going to get this so it would match that venomous, the accent color right there. So yeah, you can see it. It matches that little piece right there where my fingernail is. Matches this. That's what I got it for. That's why I got it. Right. Okay, now that's that. What else did I get? I got these. That's not right. Did I order that? This is holy guacamole. I didn't mean to get two of them. Huh? I ordered two of them. I didn't want two of them. Hey, no big deal. I ordered two of them. I didn't want two of them. I only wanted one. But that's okay. See, it's kind of a green. And I got this one because it goes... like I said, I do a lot of... For those who follow me, I do a lot of these... I've got a Stealth Olive, which is a polyester 550. It's a very, very dark green. And then you have like olive drab. And then you have moss. Which, here's moss. And they all kind of fall into that olive spectrum of the greens. You know what I'm saying? And you can take all those different colors and you can make a bracelet and it looks really well. It's like I do a lot of blacks and make a black and have a bunch of gray colors. Various gray colors all in one bracelet. And it looks really good. Right? So what I did is I ordered this holy guacamole because it kind of falls into that area of the greens, but it's a lighter color. Which I'll make the bracelet most of the time out of the darks, and I'll do the stitching in a brighter color so it pops. And it's a little lighter than this moss, but that's what I got that one for. Let's see, do I have any over here? I don't have any over here. Not off the top of my head, or not right here next to me. An olive themed one, but that's what that is now. I accidentally ordered two. I didn't realize I was getting two of them. Oh well, they'll get used. No problem. No problem. No problem. You can never have too much. Okay, now what's the next thing I got? Last thing I got in the box. I like the reds, and I got this one to see. This is what is this? Viva la Vino. Vino being wine. Viva la Vino microcord. And it's nylon. That's not a bad color. I was wanting to know how it compared to burgundy. Not quite as dark as a burgundy. Honestly, it looks like a faded burgundy. It looks like burgundy has set out in the sun and faded. But that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying what it looks like. That's not a bad thing. But I ordered some of the micro cord. I figured I could use it or whatever. I was going to get some of the 550, but I decided, nah, just get this, and you'll see what the color's like, and you can use this on some stuff, perhaps. It kind of looks like a, let's see. Looks almost like a fuchsia. Not quite, though. Slightly different. So that's a fuchsia nylon, and that's a Viva La Vino nylon. It's a little bit darker than that fuchsia. But is that all I got this week? Whoa. Yep, that's all I got this week. I may not order anything this week. I need to get me some more of these brushed brass buckles. Like I said, I ordered 15mm brushed brass buckles. I don't use them very often, so I don't keep very many in stock, but I'm kind of getting low. And I went on there last week in the What's in the Box episode. I went to order some, and they only had one. They had one in stock, so I ordered that one. And, you know, I got it set up to where when they get them back in stock, they'll email me. And I have yet to receive an email from them. And, you know, I go on there every day and check to see if they've got them back in stock. Because when they do, I'll order me, you know, more than just one. But I've been kind of compiling a list of some things that also I'm going to order with that. But that's what I got. That's what's in the box this week. Let's see. Like I said, now that I got my camera up and running, I'll most likely, in the next coming days, do a tutorial. What did I do with it? Oh, yeah, right here. A tutorial for this one. It's a stitched Royal Lion. And it's not a very difficult way. It looks really good. But it's not a very difficult one to do. It takes some time, I'll be honest with you. It takes a little bit of time to sit down and do this. And the stitching itself can be a little tricky to get it to do right, because the way it gets done, it's the way I do it anyway, it's two separate pieces of stitching. You stitch one side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. And then you come back and you do, if you look at it, I'll show you. See how this black piece has got a piece of stitching above it and below it? Well, what you do, the way I do it is, I'll stitch the top above the black, this side, this side, this side, all the way down. And then you come back with a separate piece of stitching and you do the same thing, but you do it on the bottom side of the black. So it does this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. You see what I'm saying? So the first stitching, no problem. But that second stitching, the way the nature of this weave is, you kind of got to be careful with it to get it to go through there without messing the stitching that you already done up. Does that make sense? But, yeah, I'll most likely do a video on this one, on how to do this in the next, coming days, maybe this weekend or something like that. But like I said, I apologize for not making any tutorials. My camera was all out of whack. But now that I got it working again, I'm going to get back on it. But I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching. Like, share, all that. You know how I am about that. Like, give us a like. Give us a comment. What are your favorite colors? That kind of thing. But I'll end this one like I end them all. Keep it neat, keep it clean, and keep it tight. Happy weaving, folks.